Welcome to Informed Sources on News Channel 3, where we talk about the week's big stories with local voices. I'm your host, Greg Hurst. Thanks for joining us. In a moment, I'll introduce our panel, but first, here are tonight's hot topics. The fate of Memphis Police Chief C.J. Davis hangs in the balance after the City Council votes to table a vote on her reappointment. As a result, she is now the interim chief, even though she's had that job for more than 2 years. So what's next for Chief Davis, for the mayor, for the council, and MPD? We'll also discuss a new report by the Shelby County District Attorney's Office looking back at Steve Mulroy's first year in office. We'll get Mulroy's take on his performance, and we'll have reaction from our panel. And Shelby County commissioners are getting an in-depth review of the county's criminal court system from a man who has spent decades as a judge. We'll talk about the problems that Judge Robert Carter's report uncovered. But before we begin our discussion, let's introduce tonight's panel. I'm joined by Dr. Keith Norman, former chairman of the Shelby County Democratic Party, and by Justin Joy, former chairman of the Shelby County GOP. Good to see you both. Good to have you here.
Great to be here.
We've got a lot of meat on the bone today, so this one's going to be fun.
Yes.
So we'll enjoy it. Sit back.
Look forward to it.
All right, let's begin with the future of Memphis Police Chief C.J. Davis. This week, the City Council tabled its scheduled vote on Davis's reappointment to the job. As a result, Davis is now, well, technically known as the interim chief. But Mayor Young made it clear Davis is still leading the Memphis Police Department. He also says there's no national search for another chief, but didn't say how long the interim title would last. Here's what Chief Davis had to say when asked about the interim title.
Well, not for me. And the reason I say that is because I always operate on an accelerated. People ask me, why are we moving? I do things two ways, fast and faster. And I believe in that. And I don't want to wait, unnecessarily wait for results. And we have been able to see results.
The decision to delay the vote came 2 weeks after Davis failed to get majority support for her reappointment during a city council committee meeting. Justin, you're the attorney here, so analyze this for me. What does this even mean, interim chief, and how long can the department and the city function like that?
Well, Greg, as a practical matter, interim or not, she's still the chief. And I think from the police department's perspective, everyone recognizes that. I think the mayor recognizes that. I think the council is seeing this as an opportunity to evaluate the team as this new administration begins. But it could be a number of weeks, it could be a number of months. But I think in this case it made sense to press pause on the decision. Let's see if she is indeed the right person for the job. Get some clarity, some more transparency around the understanding as to making that decision, and then make the decision at some point in the future.
Pastor, some of those who opposed reappointing the chief had said this is just the definition of insanity. You continue to do the same exact thing and expect different results. Are you expecting something different?
I'm expecting something different.
Why?
I think it was the right choice, first of all. I'm expecting, first of all, clear objectives from the mayor's office to the chief of police, and then a crime plan that will be published. Remember, we just came out of an election cycle where everyone talked about crime and everyone said they had a plan. So now we need to see those plans. We need to have clear objectives for the police director, more clear communication from her when crises emerge, and then we'll evaluate based on what we see.
The council tabled this vote, but isn't that in essence a vote of no confidence?
I don't think it's a vote of no confidence. I think we have a new council. We have a majority of people who are seated on the council who really did not have enough information, in my opinion, to walk in and make that decision in week number 1. I believe that they did the right thing. This is an opportunity for them to learn and have their own experience with the police department and with the chief and go forward.
An interim chief, this seems like a disservice maybe to the police chief and maybe even to the department and the people of Memphis. Isn't she in essence a lame duck? What can she get done here? How does she gain the respect and the confidence of those that she's serving and those who are serving her?
I think for those that are serving her, she has gained that confidence by and large over the past 2.5 years that she's had this position. And I'm not sure that any title or lack of title is going to change that. I do think, to Pastor Norman's point, though, that she's going to have to gain the confidence of those who are going to vote for her confirmation, if indeed that's going to happen. So I think there is some work to be done. We all want the crime problem to be solved yesterday. And yes, she has had some time to address that. I think that's the question. Is this the right person on this new team for this job. And giving some more time to figure that out, I think, is in everyone's interest.
We talked with the chief this week, and here's what she had to say about her communication with fellow officers there. She says, the communication that I'm having with our officers and our command staff is you're doing great work. Let's keep our foot on the accelerator so that we can show this community that Memphis can do better. There's no doubt, I have no doubt in my mind that this department is working as hard as it possibly can to solve the problem of crime here in Memphis. But if you're doing great work, don't you anticipate and expect great results?
I think you should, and I think that's a logical thing. However, we have to always look at the resources. We have to look at what is being backed up by the mayor's office and by the city council. When the chief of police gives directives to her staff and she says, let's go get this done, remember the last thing that the previous mayor said before he left office was, when he released a letter to the public, that there were some things that he disagreed with that the council had said, so he didn't put his full weight behind it. This is going to be the first opportunity we get to see of a mayor and a police chief who outline a plan together and move forward.
This is football season. I know you're a big fan, but usually with great teams, if they have great coaches, they can turn into great champions.
Yes.
And those great coaches usually have a great game plan. Do you think the Memphis Police Department has the right coach in here with the right game plan?
I know we have the right coach. I don't know what the plan is, because remember,
does the department know what the plan is?
I don't know that anyone knows what the plan is. Let's look at every one of the recently elected officials that we have, from the mayor through the council. Everyone mentioned crime as the #1 thing we needed to work on from day one. On day one, we didn't see a plan come forward because we were looking at who will coach this plan or who will navigate this plan. And so until we see the plan and until we know the objectives of the coach, what are we saying to C.J. Davis to get done, we can't evaluate.
Justin, this is really the first big decision that the mayor has had to make, and he is going all in on this police chief. If this doesn't work out, what's the political consequence for him?
It's certainly, I think, the most high-profile decision that he's making, Greg. And I think if this does not go well, and he's been clear from the beginning that C.J. Davis has got his support. And so if this does not get through council, then I think that could be quite a setback for him out of the gate. But we have to keep in mind that crime is a comprehensive problem. No department, no office, no one director is going to solve this.
Right.
And so there has to be this plan in place that's comprehensive, involving the faith community, the nonprofit community, not just government.
No one knows what the chief is thinking at this point, but if you were in the chief's shoes, what would you be thinking? I'm going to work as hard as I can to turn this problem around, or I'm looking for a new job?
Well, there might be some hedging of bets, but I doubt it. I think the thing is to be transparent with everyone that she is working with, to show that, yes, we have a new team in place, and there's going to be a new plan, and I'm going to be able to adapt to that, to work with that, and to execute that in an effective manner.
6 months from now, are you taking the over or under that the chief is still serving?
I'm saying she'll still be serving. I've seen her in action. I believe in her integrity. I believe she's committed to doing this job and to proving to this community.
And I don't think anyone questions her integrity or her commitment to doing this job.
And I think that the idea of, well, would you hedge your bet on her being here, or is she going to look elsewhere? I really think she's committed to saying, this is my space and my place. One of the things you said earlier that has already demonstrated change to me, you talked with the chief this week. She's accessible. She's more accessible. She's speaking positively about the men and women beneath her in the rank and file and complimenting the work that they are doing. That's a positive turn. That's a hopeful outlook that aligns itself with the vision of the mayor, and now you see us moving forward in that direction.
Well, we certainly wish her the very best, because
Yes.
if she succeeds, then our crime problem perhaps will make a turnaround.
Yeah.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about the other side of law and order in Shelby County. District Attorney Steve Mulroy issues a review of his first year in office. We'll take a closer look next on Informed Sources.